we'll see.
All right, let's keep it moving. Sukihana, who her real name is Destiny Henderson, is in the court of public opinion today, and not for selling her Tussy cat, but for allegedly trying to sell drugs. Now, Attorney Brian Ross, a criminal defense attorney, Brian Ross, this is in your state, and isn't she from? She's actually from Dade County or somewhere around in Miami-Dade County. What is actually going on? Because Attorney Ross, if I'm not mistaken, she wasn't really selling it. But she had a large amount of it. So does that make a difference?
It does, because here's what happened. She's driving down the street, according to the police report. Now, these allegations are proven. But according to the police report, she's driving down the street with her co-defendant in a black Tahoe. The police officer who was on proactive patrol. For all our listeners, let me tell you what proactive patrol means. It means police are driving behind, using their instincts to check people's tags. On your license plate on your car, you have zero rights of privacy. The police have the right to run your tag for no reason, whatever they want to, because remember, the tag is a license plate. The license is a permission to use. It comes from the state that licensed it to them. It doesn't belong to you. It's assigned to you. So he runs the tag. The tag comes back as an expired registration on the Tahoe. People, keep your registration up. Keep your tail lights working. Once a police officer pulls him over for the expired registration, which he can, goes to the window. What does he smell? According to him, Mary Jane, burnt cannabis. Now you're heading downhill. Looks through the window. Sukihana wasn't very cooperative. She has her feet on the dashboard of the Tahoe over a bag. So he runs the driver's license or the background for the driver. The driver, her co-defendant, happens to have a warrant out of Miami-Dade County for his arrest. Now he steps out, opens the car door, starts to see plastic bags on the floor. Some of the plastic bags allegedly contain marijuana, which gives him the right to search incident to arrest. That's search incident to arrest. He starts going through the car, finds guns, finds individual bags of ecstasy, promethazine, all tied to some man named Tony Carter. And some of that was around Sukihana. So when she gets arrested, they charge her with possession and intent to sell, distribute, because the packaging of the narcotics was developed in a way that people could sell them quickly. Street level drug dealers need to move these things over quickly, so they have them packaged in $20 bags, $50 bags, and that is why she's charged with possession with intent to sell or distribute.
All right, Attorney Symone Redwine, help me understand this. How do you get charged for something you weren't doing?
So the moral of the story is, if you're going to have your drugs on you, don't package them individually. You want to sell a nice big jar. Just go on down to the Dollar Tree, okay? Get you one of them dollar jars and just put it all together. But as far as getting charged for something you weren't doing, when you are the passenger, now in most states, including my state of Texas, if you are the passenger, you do not have to provide ID to officers in a stop, unless it's a situation like this where he then finds drugs and therefore has a potential reason to arrest. But here, it's going to also go by where the drugs were located. So with her being a passenger, if it's found in her bag, under her seat in that specific area, she can be charged with that. Now, if it's charged in the back seat and stuff, not usually. It's usually then assigned to the driver or owner of the vehicle, as well as those that would be sitting in the back seat. But Suki is innocent. She don't sell drugs. She sells coochie.
Suki with the good coochie. All right, Brian, Attorney Ross, this is my last thing. In the state of Florida, why did it take her so long to get out? Because we learned from her live that they kept her for a while.
Well, that could be a number of reasons, but I'm going to go out here on a limb. The fastest way to get out of jail is to say, I want my lawyer, and be quiet and do everything else they ask you to do. They ask you to move along, move along. They ask you to stand here, stand here. If you decide to give these police officers attitude, they have a wink, wink. They can give to each other, and they can process your thing to the end of the day. They can even push you to the next day because you're waiting for a judge to read your police report, a lawyer to say something about it to that judge, and then they assign you a bond. If they choose to roll you over to the later judge because you're not being nice to them, you're not getting out of jail. And there isn't too much any lawyer can do about that. We have to wait until that process happens. So my guess is, from the way the police wrote the police report, that he wasn't getting cooperation from Sukihana, and he decided to roll it to the bottom of the deck. That's my guess.
Attorney Redwine.
I want to give one little fun fact. Now, initially, it's the police report states that she was pulled over due to expired tags. If you guys are ever in an auto accident, they always tell you take pictures of the driver, take pictures of the car. They always forget to tell you take pictures of the registration sticker. Why? If it's expired, a lot of times it's because something is wrong with that raggedy little hoopty, or they couldn't get it fixed, right? So if the issue why they couldn't get it registered is because they had to fix the brakes, they had to fix this, that, or the third, that could be even stronger grounds that you use in your car wreck case.
Excellent. All right, bailiff, can you please put that police report up? Because I have a question for our two counselors. As I look to the bond amount, it's $2,500. Description is possession with intent to sell. And then they list charge, comments, charge status, pending trial, bond type. Why is it only $2,500? And if the bond amount is $2,500, she only has to come up with what percent to get out?
So they charge her with possession with intent to sell MDMA known as ecstasy. All right. So the bond on that amount is a secondary felony, is $25,000. She needs to come up with 10%, which is $2,500.
Oh, that's it. Okay. All right.
Wait. One more comment.
Okay.
Sukihana had a warrant out of Georgia.
Wow.
So when you are arrested and they find out you have a warrant out of another state, even another country, but especially another state, they have to communicate with that other state and say, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to hold them for what's called extradition, which is where basically a bus comes and picks you up and takes you through a very long, arduous, and boring trip to whatever that next jurisdiction is going to be. If your lawyer's good, he works ahead of them and says, hey, look, I got her. I'll turn her in tomorrow, release her. I'll post a bond. You got a bail bondsman on call there. And he puts her on a plane and says, you're going to Georgia tomorrow. Don't give me any back talk. And there you go. So that's probably what happened.
So that's probably what took so long. So that's actually probably what took so long is you got to charge in another state. They got to coordinate. Boom. So it was not no special situation because she's a celebrity. And that's what she might have been thinking.
Yeah.
All right, Algorithm, you hearing it first right here in the court of public opinion. Let's throw some of those wine glass emojis in the chat for attorney Symone Redwine. And if you heard anything that attorney Brian Ross gave you that was good, please throw in those briefcases. And I love a good fax machine. Put those fax machines in the chat. And also the likes ain't liking to the views now. Come on, my like.